And I am back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Nullus. His opponent today in the red color, playing as also as Hades. His name is Kvoth. This is a best of 5 series for the Wisdom of Thoth meta plays sponsored run. Whatever you want to call it, it's a meta plays tournament. They're putting this one on. Wisdom of Thoth. We're in the round of 16, which is not quite the quarterfinals. Round of 16. So a couple more. There's been a group stage before this. A whole bunch of stuff has already happened. So I have to wait and see how things are going to go in this series. Because we do get the Hades mirror right off the bat. So Kvoth here is kind of known for his Gaia play and things of that nature, but we'll have to wait and see how his Hades is actually going to go, especially against someone as good as Nullus over here, because Nullus has been on fire recently in tournaments. He obviously, what did he come second in? He won the Pandora's box. Forgive me. He won Pandora's box. Absolutely on fire. So we'll see how he's going to go here as his villagers are moving forward into these zebra into the middle of the map. The map, for those of you who are unaware, the uninitiated out there, this is called Tropical Mirage. And kind of the special thing about Tropical Mirage is that you basically are guaranteed to have a very, very good second town center with hunt on it. As you can see, every single town center on the map is going to have some hunt spawn nice and close to it. So this one has giraffe, this one has giraffe. We've also got giraffe over here, and there's going to be giraffe over here as well. So it's a really, really good defensive map for a fast second town center. However, the gold mine situation is often a little lackluster if you're really trying to figure out how to play. Gold mines are really, really bad here. So you can find yourself getting into a lot of trouble facing off against someone who plays for more raiding heavy style, more one town center regression, trying to go for those gold mines. You can find yourself with a much better advantage in those sorts of situations there. So we'll have to wait and see. We do find a relic up the top corner of the map. It is the Dwarven Calipers up here. Negative 20% siege gold wood cost. This relic's actually a really big deal in this matchup, especially if both players opt in to the boomy style that can be very prevalent in Greek wars, especially in the Hades versus Hades or Hades versus Poseidon matchup. So this relic here is going to really help out because you're going to be able to get Heliopoli for incredibly cheap. Minus 20% on a 500 resource unit ends up being a very, very big discount. Now, I'll have to wait and see what the other relic is, as it hasn't quite been discovered yet. Down the bottom onto the map here, it is the Eye of Ornlu, which probably not the best of relics. Doesn't help out all too much, as we are seeing Nullus going to be advancing through Athena here nice and early. This is a very standard timing for Hades players to get up to the next stage. Kvoth, on the other hand, is going for a bit of a later advance time. Did he get himself his Ajax out? No. He's just got himself an extra village. It goes for a 345 here. Personally, I'm a little bit more in favor of Greek players going for a 416 in this matchup. And just in general, if their plan is second town center, 430 doesn't really offer you anything more economically. You can basically get yourself the one town center and your heroes out at the same time, just as the kind of 430 is getting you the same thing, except you just have like 60 resources you can't spend really on anything special in the bank from advancing a little bit later. But we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to go. Athena coming out for Kvoth almost through here, as the villagers will be making their way forward. Grabbing that middle town center makes a lot of sense here, because it's right in the middle of the map, and it's almost securing this town center over here as well, as we see the Kvoth villagers making their way forward. And it looks like we're going to see both players grabbing their middle town center very, very early on in this game, as Nullus just waiting on those resources to get that one out. Kvoth is moving over onto this town center as the Ajax and Minotaur are moving forward in this game here. We do see Chiron coming coming out, the Minotaur coming in onto this position. Kvoth's got to be a little bit careful about this one. He moves in, gets 1 or 2 hits, and then Ajax comes in, gets a cheeky shank away here as... we see the Ajax coming through for Kvoth, and he does take the first initial bouts of damage here as the rest of the unit's going to be coming through. We'll see what Kvoth is planning here. It doesn't look like he's going to be going for anything special after all is said and done. Townsend are going to be going up. Townsend are going to be going up. It's roughly at the same time, so really no advantage here for Nullus whatsoever. As the Minotaur sneaking around this bottom side of the map, as Nullus decides to say, you know what? I see your heroes over here. I'm going to go for a raid while you're trying to make my Townsend delayed. My Chiron is going to take your Minotaur out. It's going to be all over Red Rover there, as we do see the Minotaur now coming over onto this position, as Kvoth going to have to micro this one just a little bit. The Chiron coming through here to start getting some damage down. Nullus is spending some resources here on Vault of Erebus, and one villager does end up going down here as the Minotaur moving away from this position. We see the Ajax moving forward, the Chiron moving forward as well. Huge win here for Nullus as that Minotaur getting chased away. The Ajax taking a lot of damage here, but Chiron should be able to chase in onto this one and kill that Minotaur. No problems there, but the Ajax has suffered a lot of damage here, and Kvoth's going to have to leave that position now as we see both players chucking their sentinels up in the middle of the map. As Kvoth moving down to the bottom side of the map to grab his elephant over here. And Nullus, he's got basically a 1 villager lead here, you'd have to think, but it looks like Kvoth has somehow, some way managed to sneak out a villager here. In fact, he's actually in front on the villager count some way over Nullus, even though Nullus has got the villager kill. So Nullus has possibly traded a little bit of villager training time here for that villager kill, and we'll see how things are going to result as this game progresses. As a stable going to be coming down, there is plenty of hunt on this map to be controlled by Hippocon. So going for some big amounts of Hippocon in this classical age makes a lot of sense. Going for a strictly fast Mythic age just off of 2 town centers here, or going for an early 3rd town center, you might find yourself in some trouble here. As Kvoth trying to pick off this last giraffe here. He might get unlucky with that sentinel being close enough to deny these giraffe over here. So it's got to be just a little bit careful with that one, as the Ajax Toxotes moving forward for Kvoth. He's got his military buildings down. Nullus also getting his own military buildings down. A little bit of a population advantage for Kvoth right now, but the question is, will he be able to use it on anything? And the answer is yes, but at this point, Kvoth does not know about this hunting operation going on right in front of his eyes here, as he actually pulls his units back, looking up here to see the Chiron and Ajax checking out that town center on the back here. Looks like Nullus has got plenty of food in the bank. He's got himself the gold as well, not yet having the wood to get himself that 3rd town center just yet. As you'd have to ask the question, what is the line of sight on these villages? He must be seeing around about up until here, and not being able to see those zebra on that position is a big letdown for Kvoth, as he's going to be searching around for those heroes sitting up on this position, scouting out the town center, making sure that's not going anywhere. And Nullus here, he is going to be finding his way to the heroic age very, very quickly here in this game, as Kvoth's villagers here going to start getting taken down. Another villager kill potentially going to be coming through here for Nullus, as he almost manages to pick one off. The villager's going to be retreating back into the town center here as the idle time has been forced. We do see some units now coming through for Kvoth, as he's about to be losing one of his Hippocon, trying to micro that one back. Does manage to pull that one back for the time being. We do have 80 population for Kvoth to Nullus's 71 population, but Nullus has got so many resources in the bank. Why is that? Currently hand axe, pickaxe for Kvoth. Nullus, on the other hand here, he's got exactly the same upgrades, plus he's got that Hades unique upgrade Vault of Erebus. So he does have the slight advantage where that's concerned, but Nullus here is going to be thinking about buying himself medium cavalry. His villagers have to retreat back into his main base, onto his herdables over here, whereas Kvoth is still sitting on all of his hunt and everything like that. Also moving on to a secondary hunt, really nice, and secondary gold mine, excuse me. Nice and early here is going to be a big thing, because it's going to be able to hold that home gold mine for a little bit longer, potentially pressure Nullus' second gold mine expansion. You can see the Chiron checking this out. Not only that, he's found the Eye of Ornlu, going to be bringing that one back. And you have to remember the Dwarven Calipers has been picked up here as the units retreating back, not yet actually picking anything off. Both players playing incredibly defensive at this point as Nullus pushing forward. Not going to be able to do all too much against that scary defensive, those scary defensive buildings here. The Sentinel plus that town center is not a place you really want to be. We do see the Nullus here is kind of spreading himself out onto this location. The Katoskopos does see some villages moving through here, so potentially Kvoth might try and hit some sort of a raid around that side. All he has to do is send a handful of Hippocon around onto this location. He's going to have a really good time of it. And right now, Kvoth here, it's floating a lot of resources, so who knows what those are being kept for. Potentially for a town center up the top, as we do see the Hippocon going to be moving through onto this position here, as Kvoth does notice that one beautifully here. Going to be taking down a bunch of those Hippocon. Huge win for Kvoth in the early stages of this game, as we are seeing Nullus going for a cheeky little wall up on this location at the top, and Kvoth grabbing himself watchtowers at this point as well. Very, very defensive. We see the town center now coming through for Nullus, as medium archers coming through for Kvoth. We'll see if Kvoth is going to be able to get in and get any damage done with these units as he tries to snipe some of those Hippocon and Toxotes, but just not able to do so just yet. The villagers sneaking through onto this position over here, going to start getting those walls up at this point. Kvoth is definitely falling a little bit behind here by not going for his own second town center. So the question is Kvoth going to go for the town center a little bit later, or is he going to try and hit some sort of a heroic age timing attack to try and punish Nullus' third town center? But Nullus here is spending his resources really nicely, very low on the resource count. Kvoth is able to advance here. He's going up through Aphrodite, so it kind of looks like there's going to be some sort of gold starve attempt, some sort of two-town center timing attack here from Kvoth. Potentially an early Hephaestus or an early Artemis here could be really, really tough to deal with. If you earthquake this location over here and you put an underworld from over here down to over here, you're going to have full access to all the gold mines as the army going to be sneaking in onto this location. Nullus has spotted it here. He's retreating back into the town center. We see one villager going down, two villagers going down, three villagers going down, four villagers going down, as this villager now going to move up to that top gold mine. It looks like Kvoth is going to be taking this opportunity to be retreating away, but Aphrodite is on the way, and that's going to be a huge amount of damage onto Nullus' army as he's moving in onto this position. Kvoth basically has to fight this here, otherwise he loses so much, as we see the Ajax falling, the Toxotes falling as well. Kvoth not paying attention here. He's losing even more units. That raid here has not been well utilized here at all from Kvoth as he pulls back. We do see a curse getting dropped on this position over here, hitting just 4 units at this point as the villager does get taken down. We will be seeing the wall attempting to get killed off here as what are you doing? You're losing so many units here, Kvoth. Kvoth's going to be returning back plenty of resources in the bank to jump to the next age, but look at Nullus. He's already 62% of the way through Aphrodite. There's such a small amount of resource difference in getting that third town center, and the timing between the Mythic age and the second town center player and the third town center player, that timing is incredibly small. So you have to macro it literally perfect to find an advantage here. And Nullus, he is going to be just happily chasing this Hephaestus, sitting on 3 town centers with 70. He's behind on villager count, but he's going to be in a very, very good position here as the curse getting dropped, taking down a lot of those Toxotes here as the Hades Shades coming through here, doing a little bit of damage. We will be seeing Chiron retreating back as the Ajax does get caught out here ever so slightly. Kvoth's only got himself 2 military buildings down at this point as the unit's going to be retreating back into the main base. Is there any chance here that Kvoth has to get this town center up at this point, as the villager moving back in here going to be attempting to finish off this wall yet again here, as the Chiron looks like it's going to get sniped down here as the Nemean Lion can come in and start dealing with whatever else is in this kind of army of Nullus, as Nullus has to retreat back. We do see some villagers sneaking down onto this position here, going to be looking to grab this gold mine in the middle of nowhere. Potential fortress to come down on this position very, very soon here for Kvoth. Wouldn't be a bad idea in the slightest, but his villagers are just in a really, really weird position as units pushing forward here trying to take that sentinel down. We still don't have a another fortress down for Nullus just yet. He's getting himself irrigation. He's taking his time in the heroic age, not rushing to the mythic age at all here in this game. As the Toxotes moving around, trying to find something to do. He's all over the map. Huge walls coming down over here as the Donkey Caravan's moving by. As Kvoth still hasn't thrown down his fortress. The Plentyvault will come down. Technically speaking here, Kvoth has got himself a 20 villager advantage, but he doesn't have himself fortified town centers. He doesn't have himself a third town center. And this is where the problems are going to start being a big thing here for Kvoth. So the time that he gets to get Forge of Olympus and how many resources he gets out of Forge of Olympus is everything, or how fast he can get his armory technologies out is everything in this game, because the longer he waits, the faster or the less amount of time he's going to have to play around with those armory advantages here. As two heavy Hippocon coming through onto these villages, they're going to take out a lot of villagers here as they're retreating away. We will see the villagers chasing them down very, very angrily here. As Kvoth pulls back onto the gold mine, a few more units going to be coming through. Kvoth is sitting at full villages. These villagers still haven't done anything really just yet, as his Toxotes getting caught out in the middle of nowhere. We do see the Colossus coming in onto this position, but the Chiron and Ajax sitting back here to defend for the time being. Not going to be able to do all too much here, as Kvoth's fortress is up. Still haven't seen those Heliopoli coming out just yet, as the villagers do get pushed off of that gold mine. There is still gold left in the main base, 800 gold remaining there. He's also got gold on this location, as these villagers are happily mining over here, but Kvoth basically needs to be selling food at this point, as Kvoth misclicks yet again, as Nullus is holding here really, really nicely. Bronze weapons, bronze shields coming through. Nullus goes for the fourth town center behind all of this. He doesn't even care about the mythic age here. He doesn't care that he's about to be getting hit by all of these armory upgrades, as Nullus is trying to push through here, trying to use his army, his population advantage here. He is over 50 population in front right now, as he's fighting underneath the fortress here, fighting underneath the watchtowers and everything else. We do see the Achilles attempting to help out in this position, but it looks like Kvoth's army is being absolutely dismantled here in this game, as Kvoth is still trying very, very hard to get all of his armory upgrades out. But what does he have left to show for it? As he's still getting pushed off of this gold mine over here. He's only got a handful of gold income left. He's only got a handful of gold income left, but he's getting his Heliopoli out now as well. That's going to help out a little bit here on these fights, but he's sitting still very, very far behind on the population. Iron weapons coming through, iron mail, medium cavalry coming through, as well as the watchtowers coming through to help out in the back. But Nullus is not taking his foot off the pedal just yet, trying to get as much damage done as he possibly can. Nullus dropping down on population here ever so slightly, down to 160 instead of that 180 that he was sitting fairly solidly at a minute ago, as iron weapons and iron mail just about to pop here. Kvoth can't afford to get himself iron shields right now, which would seem like the most important of upgrades, as the villagers getting pushed off of this location as well. As he does retreat back, we'll see if Kvoth can muster some sort of an army now. Iron shields are coming through. So if he can get back up to 130 population, his army will seem like it's just not going to be dying against even that much bonus population that Nullus has got. And Nullus is actually still losing quite a lot of population underneath all of these buildings. So you have to remember that iron weapons is through. So now the fortress is doing like 28 damage a second times 3. I mean, if all the arrows hit, that's a lot of damage coming out of that fortress. As Kvoth is trying to regroup over here, we do see the Hippocon coming through to hit some more villagers over on this location. Kvoth is now out of resources in this game. He's got nothing left in the bank. These villagers still mining away at this gold mine, getting away with murder here, as Kvoth heading back over onto this gold mine over here, onto this gold mine as well. We do see that this medium Hippocon will get taken out by these heavy Hippocon as well, so more problems going to happen on the gold mine there for Kvoth, as Kvoth tries to continue pushing through over here. He does have that full iron, but Artemis is on the way for Nullus. Nullus doesn't want to bother with the Hephaestus. He's going to go for the Earthquake and go for the game game-winning blow here to take out this location. Now, there's a lot of buildings around this. Kvoth doesn't have himself fortified town centers yet, doesn't have himself masons yet either, as we see another Colossus coming out, and the army has to pull back here for Nullus. Nullus might be making a crucial misstep here. If Kvoth can get himself fortified town centers and all masons before that earthquake comes down, there's a potential that his town center will not fall to earthquake as Kvoth moves forward. Look at the damage coming out of these Toxotes. 9.75, but more importantly, 38% pierce armor versus 23% pierce armor ends up meaning the effective HP of these Toxotes, these medium Toxotes, is much, much more than the effective HP of the heavy Toxotes of Nullus, as Kvoth is starting to slowly mount somewhat of a comeback here, sitting very healthily at his 130 population, getting himself those heavy archers through as well. Burning Pitch going to be coming through, as well as the military building slowly starting to fall here, as Kvoth's Heliopoli, they're going to start rolling through, so they're still tanking a lot, but Nullus is sitting at a very firm 168 population at this point, as Kvoth has to pull back. We still haven't seen Kvoth getting himself that masons through, as the earthquake getting dropped down onto this position. The fortress most likely will be falling. It looks like the town center might actually end up staying alive when all is said and done here, as the fortress going down is kind of a big deal, because that puts a stop to all of those Heliopolis shenanigans that Kvoth wants to be making. Not only that, we will be seeing the Chimera coming through here. No heroes in for Kvoth just yet, as Nullus has got himself his own fortress, going to start making Heliopolis out himself, as the Chimera move forward to start taking out those Toxotes on this position. We will be seeing the Heliopolis retreating away, as Kvoth has to pull back to his town center over there. He's got only a handful of population left. His fortified town center is finally coming through here. Wouldn't be a bad idea for Nullus to just make a couple of Gastrophetes here to start targeting down that town center and get himself like an upgrade or two. But the other thing that's huge for Nullus is he's already started his trade route. He's at 23 donkey caravans already in this game, 80 villages. So even with Kvoth having plenty vault, he's actually still behind on the economic population, just because of those donkey caravans as well here, as Nullus pushes through on this location. We will be seeing the Toxotes getting taken out over here, as it looks like the fortress is going up right in the face of Kvoth. But we'll see how long that Colossus is going to last there to take down that fortress. No heroes really coming out. We see the Chiron and Ajax actually coming out at this point, but no like one-hit heroes like Briseis able to come out just yet, as the Heliopolis does spawn over here. This fortress looks like it might get up. Oh, now it's not going to be getting up, with the Heliopolis joining the fight here, as Kvoth is still desperately trying to hold on in this game, as Nullus is now rolling through to start taking out this town center of Kvoth, as Kvoth gets himself a Gastrophetes out. Not sure exactly what the plan is with that. We still got more raids coming through onto the gold mine over here, but Kvoth does manage to hold that off with his Chiron. Meanwhile, on this top location over here, we do see cheeky Heliopolis coming through, but Kvoth says that's enough. He cannot hold on anymore, as Nullus gets the dub here. Thought that this game would become an incredibly stale game after Kvoth grabbed his third town center, but because Kvoth didn't, just allowed Nullus to kind of take control of the entire map and decide a very different strategic approach. But Kvoth going for a kind of timing attack-esque thing here, or a timing with Hephaestus, with Forge of Olympus, just didn't end up working because he didn't have the population or the army once that came through to really help him out. I think if he had earlier fortified town centers or something like that, maybe more of a cleaner Mythic Age a little bit earlier, he might have found himself with a bit more of an advantage here. But Nullus played it very, very standardly, very, very cool, calm, collectively, gets the first win. But I believe the rules in this tournament are, if you win with a god, you cannot select him again. So Nullus will not have a Hades left for the rest of this series, and Kvoth might feel like with no Hades being there, it'll be worth it to bring out his Atlantean pick. So we'll see what he's going to go for in game number 2. If you guys are enjoying this series, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.